engage himself with?
Well, Howard Pyle was born here in Wilmington in 1853, and at the time Wilmington was really an industrial city, and his father was a businessman. He had a leather-making company here. And Pyle's mother was a woman who loved literature and loved art, and shared both of them with her children. And Pyle later said that he remembered very vividly being a kid and having his mother read to him and to show him the pictures in books. And he said, as an adult, I always liked the pictures in the books better than the ones on the wall. His mother encouraged him to draw and to write his own stories. He had a little bit of art training in Philadelphia, and then he came back to Wilmington. Are probably his most long-lasting imagery in the American imagination, although not by any means the most numerous works he did. Historical fiction and nonfiction, the European Middle Ages, particularly the King Arthur and his knights, which were very popular at the time, and fantasy, folk tales, and really a very, very wide-ranging group of subjects he mastered in his lifetime.
Okay, why is Howard Pyle's work important in terms of our modern day perceptions of some fantasy characters such as pirates?
Well, when we think about pirates, we really think of that image. Even people who don't know the name of Howard Pyle or who have never seen that painting, that's really become the quintessential image of the pirate in our popular culture. Pirates were a relatively small part of Pyle's production, but they are something that has really stuck in the mind of readers at the time and then really up until our own time. Pyle was known, when he did historic illustration, to be very keen on accuracy, and particularly with his American Revolutionary pictures. He had artifacts from the period, he looked at books. Someone said he knew every button on every regiment in the American Revolutionary forces. He couldn't do that with pirates because basically no visual imagery survived from the pirates of primarily the 17th century in North and South American waters that he was portraying in his fiction. And so Pyle looked around in various compendia of historical costumes, and he created a costume and a sort of demeanor for the pirate. And you can see that. Well, the work being more famous than the name is a complaint probably that many artists from history would have. But I think that Pyle is, and deservedly, is gaining more fame today. Not just because this museum is being is putting his name out there more, but if you look, for example, at the internet, if you look at Amazon, where books are sold, you see that his books are still being sold. People are discussing them, they're sort of reviewing them and recommending them among themselves. There are a number of blogs actually devoted to Howard Pyle, and then others where his name is mentioned frequently because these are blogs run by illustrators of today who look back to his work in some formative way. So I think that as time goes by and people have more opportunity to see in works like Pirates of the Caribbean, like Treasure Planet, the animated science fiction movie of 2002, which the creators have said they look very much to Howard Pyle for that. I think people are learning sometimes indirectly about Howard Pyle, but they are certainly learning about him more.
Is there a knowledge gap about Howard Pyle between older and younger generations for any reason?
I think there are a couple things at play there. First of all, a lot of Pyle's work was done for children's literature. And tastes in children's literature has changed, of course. It changes really with every generation. So many of those works are not very well known to the newer generations. Nowadays, most adult books and many adult-oriented magazines are not illustrated at all. So people don't look to know the names of illustrators of the present or the past. Also, of course, we're very used to photographs. If see an illustration, it's likely as not to be a photograph. And so for that reason, I think there is